This is bad because this happens. And we all know that. So instead of giving you a lesson of why you should stop being on your phone, I give you 5 micro habits that will get you away from your phone. Let's start right with the first micro habit. So if you're struggling right now with a phone addiction, if you're spending endless time on your phone, the first micro habit is to delete all of the apps that are taking away your time on your phone. Yes, I also mean social media. You can see in your screen time where you spend the most time and look at these apps and think if they're really truly worth your time or not, and see which one you can delete, and if possible, just delete them for a while to see how life is and how life still works without them. You will realize that there's such a habit to just pick up your phone and go on one of these apps. But if you don't have these apps anymore, you will open your phone and you don't even know what to do. Because it's just a habit of opening up your phone even though you have nothing to do there. The times where there's not a specific reason why you go on your phone, it's just because you're bored. And these are the times you should spend endlessly on your phone while you could also be doing other things. Now, not as a separate micro habit, because in the end, we all already know that, is to just turn off notifications that you don't need, so that they will not instantly bring you to take out your phone, because that is not what we want here. So for the next micro habit, I do have to expand a little bit because I want to tell you about an experiment that was made. It's called the rat park. So researchers have already proven if you put a rat in a cage and you give them 2 different bottles, one with water and one with heroin or cocaine, the rat will nearly 100% go and choose the one with the heroin or cocaine inside, so the drugged one. And that will go as far as they would drink so much of it that they overdose and die from it. Now, Rat Park is kind of an add-on to that existing experiment that they already did, because someone saw that experiment and was like, okay, fair, they took the drugged water, but also they had nothing else to do. They were literally alone in a cage and they would choose that. So what if we change up the environment of the rat? Put rats together in a rat park where they could play together and where they could socialize. Now the rats could still choose from the water and the drugged water. But now in this case, nearly none of them would take the drugged water with the normal water. And even if they would take the drugged water, it never went as far as to an overdose. So what we can take from this experiment is that addiction happens because of your environment. Because you as a human will always try to band and connect with something. And if there's not another person in your life that you can connect with, you will connect with addictions, for example, drugs or your phone. So what you need is things in your life. That could be people, that could be plans, that could be goals that you can bond with. You always have to think, how can I replace this addiction? So how can I bond in a different way? What do I do in the time that I have now free? So for example, on the phone, you probably spend a lot of time on your phone. What else are you gonna do? How will you relax? How will you bond? How you make that feeling come up? So for example, you could start reading, you could start journaling, you could start drawing. Find something that you like as well so you can replace it with that. So basically ask yourself the question, what do you like to do besides on being on your phone? And whatever it is and whatever you find out, do that. Now, next micro habit. Be more bored. It's so important to slow down your life and do one thing and one thing only. Not every task and not everything that you do in your life needs the company of a phone. That could be, for example, when you eat, when you travel, when you wait for something. Your first thought shouldn't be to take out your phone. Just be in the moment. Enjoy to be bored because that's what we're made for. We're not made to always be stimulated and looking on the phone. Realize that you live outside of your phone and that your life is not happening inside your phone. Taking out your phone all the time is a very easy thing to do because your brain doesn't like to be bored. Because when you're bored, the default mode network turns on in your brain. And that makes you start think about kind of uncomfortable things and questions. For example, what is your meaning of your life? But that is exactly the things that are important for your well-being. We as humans are not made to get so many dopamine hits as we do with social media or your phone in general. first step there could be to just aim for like 15 minutes of boredom every day, which could be, as I said, for example, by eating in the morning, you just take the time and be and not do anything besides eating. Now, next micro habit is to watch The Social Dilemma. The Social Dilemma is a documentary on Netflix. It's the same as when you read a book about health so you can stop eating unhealthy. You watch The Social Dilemma to stop being on your phone and mostly on social media. It basically shows how like fucked up social media is, and it's truly a mind-blowing series if you never thought into the topic of how social media works and what it does with your brain. I guarantee you that you will never see reels and posts in every of the social media the same way after watching this documentary. Because instead of looking away, you're looking directly at the problem, and that can be very, very uncomfortable, but it is an important step so your brain can start understanding how bad your phone and social media actually is for you. Right now, your brain probably thinks your phone and social media is just fun. It's a cool thing to do because they never took the path to the darker side of actually accepting and seeing how bad it actually is for you. And The Social Dilemma will definitely help you with that. It's important to look at the parts that you not actually want to see, because just because you don't want to look at them doesn't mean they're not there. And I think a lot of people in the end know how social media is bad, but they choose to look away. And if you want to change your behavior to that, you have to look to these dark parts, so the parts that you probably don't really want to see. Now, last micro habit, and that is to set up rules for yourself how you use your phone. Yes, I know you're probably not in school anymore where you have to hand in your phone or whatever, but it's still important to make it rules for yourself. It's so easy to use your phone more than you actually want to. Phones are literally made so they can take away all of your attention, and you have to go against that, and that can mean that you have to make rules for yourself that actually in the end help you and are not to limit yourself. So rules you could set yourself up right now are the last time you go on your phone every day. So for example, at 8, it's the last time you go on your phone, and after it's not anymore. Other ones could be no phone while you eat, no phone the first hour after you wake up, and just phone-free days where you just go on your phone as little as possible. You could do that, for example, every Sunday. Phones can be really, really helpful, but always remember that these things are made to take away your time and your attention. And with you fighting against that, you fight against the biggest companies. So don't be mad at yourself for taking some time to change your habits around the phone. It is an addictive behavior that you have to change. See you next week for a brand new video. Bye bye!